Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially back. Well, not technically we, just I. FTN Network has come out of retirement. We are here. I just felt like bringing it back. I'm going to try and get everybody back into it. A lot has gone on since we last recorded it. Josh Allen is a MVP quarterback. The Buffalo Bills are still a very good team. The Baltimore Ravens are a great team. The New York Giants are still in the dumps. And you know what? A lot has changed in the sports world. And I thought, you know what? Let's bring it back. Let's go back to the basics. Who knows how many people are going to watch this? It could be four, it could be hundreds. Who knows? I just needed something to document not just the NFL season, just talk about what I want to talk about and interview people who I find are interesting. There's a lot of people. Don't worry, a lot of those familiar faces will be back. Once this gets posted, the word will be out. FTN Network is back. If you want to just come on, shoot the shit, talk about whatever, we will be here. We are always intrigued in conversations. And let's talk about what I really worked on for this video, and that is the Lakeshore Cup Fantasy Power Rankings. Preseason rankings. I am currently recording this guy right now, a few hours before the kickoff of the NFL seasons between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Our draft was last Friday. It is the usual suspects. Most of the guys who have been on this pod in the past: Xavier, Divine, Pedro, Max, Tabak, Milan, and Steffi. All these guys are in this league. We've had this league going on for 10 years. And you know what? I thought, let's document this season because who knows? I think it'll be pretty interesting just to give power rankings week in and week out, talk about transactions, look at matchups, and so on and so forth. So let's kick it off with, first of all, the draft and the draft results. Then we'll get into the power rankings, talk about the teams, and then look about the upcoming schedule for this week. Let's start it off with the draft pick. You know how we started off. First pick of the draft went to our commissioner, Divine. That was the draft. Pretty interesting to see how it went. Um, Again, it was crazy to see Jamar Chase kind of go as far as he did. Ended up picking him with the third overall pick, so I was happy about that. In defense, guys wanted running backs. Divine's not going to pick a Cincinnati Bengal because he's a Ravens fan, so you got to respect that. Same reason I wouldn't pick Mahomes. He's not going to pick Jamar Chase. So, hey, I was happy with what I ended up. And it's just pretty interesting to see how the draft played out. A few funny moments. Obviously, Greek Attack coming in looking like a GM. Hats off to him. That's dedication to the craft right there with the draft guide. Listen, I have a draft guide too, but by like the fourth round, I was like, I can't keep up. I'm just going to have fun. And the draft fell apart on me, in my opinion. But let's get into the reason why everybody is here. Guys are going to say they're not going to watch this, but they're going to skip over to the power rankings. So let's get into the power rankings right now. 12th overall in the power rankings is Jimbas FC. Yoshi, listen, it's tough for me to give you anything higher than that because when you're looking at that, listen, you got a good quarterback, Devon Achane, good running back. RG Harvey, I don't know, it's a crowded backfield, so it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Mike Evans, Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, those are good three-headed options. Sam Laporta could be good, could be bad. We'll see how that goes. For me, it is the bench depth that really kills it for me. You got Trey Brunson, Woody Marks. I don't even know who that guy is. Dylan Sampson, Jordan Addison, and David Njoku. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out for him. I don't know. It's gonna be one of those things where it could work out really, really well, or it could not work out well. But for that, I'm going to have to give him the 12th spot in the power ranking. Now, moving on to. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to. So the transition's not so goddamn slow. Sorry about that, y'all. Moving on to the 11th on the power ranking. That is going to go to Auntie Killer. Lund up. It's tough, dude. It's tough. When you're looking at your team, you got a great quarterback, you got a great running back, but that running back 2 position, Caleb Johnson, was not announced as a starter for Pittsburgh, so we'll see how that works out. It's just a weird backfield to really gauge on, and having that as your running back number 2, and having Michael Pittman in your flex spot, who again, maybe 2 years ago that was a good pick, but right now it might be a little bit tougher, so we'll see how that works out. He's got Dicker the kicker. Gotta love Dicker the kicker. When Rashee Rice gets back, and if Caleb Johnson is the number 1 running back in Pittsburgh, this could be a very different team, but as of right now, I gotta give him that 11th spot. Next on, the 10th spot, receiver Grim Reaper. Pedro, listen, you have an insane roster of wide receivers. You got Nico Collins, Brian Thomas Jr., DJ Moore, Chris Godwin, Jacoby Myers, and Chris Olave. That is 6 receivers. The only issue is your running backs are lacking crazy. You have David Montgomery, who is the backup in Detroit. You have Travion Henderson, who is going to be the number 1. And then after that, like you got Zach Charbonnet and Jaden Blue. Again, injuries in Seattle, Charbonnet could be the number 1, and injuries or Jaden Blue could be the number 1. But in my opinion, I mean, this is coming from a schmuck like me, but if you can move 2 pieces to get another running back in this league, you are going to have a deadly team. Just being able to rotate between Nico Collins, Brian Thomas Jr., DJ Moore, Chris Olave, and then Chris Godwin when he's healthy, and Jacoby Myers if he gets traded to a different team, or if he is really Geno's number 1. That is crazy receiver depth. You are not going to be having the same issues you had last year, so we'll see how that goes. Next up, and the 9th slot, that goes to back. Listen, first pick of the draft. I don't know what you're doing. You had the first pick of the draft, and you didn't go Jamar Chase. You end up with Jahmyr Gibbs, still a good running back in this league, but Jamar, across any board, was the number one receiver in fantasy. You still ended up with a pretty solid team. You got the best quarterback in the league. You got one of the best running backs in the league. You got a good running back in Alvin Kamara. The issue is your receiver position. You have no number one receivers on any teams. Devontae Adams is the number 2 to Puka Nacua. Deebo Samuel is the number 2 to Terry McLaurin. Jaylen Warren could not even be the number 1 running back in Pittsburgh. So that, we'll see how that works out for you. You got Brock Bowers. You got the best tight end in the league. You got Harrison Butker. You got the Baltimore defense. And your bench, other than Travis Hunter, for me, there's nothing really popping. Travis Hunter could work out. It could not work out. He could not play both ways as much as people think. So we'll see how that works out. But for me, it's the lack of having a number 1 alpha receiver in the league that kind of brings you down to where you are right now. We see how that goes, but let's move on to the 8th position. Jaw Rockers, Steffi and Milan. Listen, solid team. Some good, some bad. You got a good quarterback in Joey B. You got 2 good running backs, 2 former fantasy beam players in Kieran Williams and Breece Hall. You got Calvin Ridley, who could be very good with Cam Ward. We'll see how that works out. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got Amike and fuck, I'm not even going to butcher that. You got the number 2 receiver on Tampa until Chris Godwin is fully healthy. You got a good tight end in George Kittle. You got former TFC and Brendan Aubrey. You got Washington Commanders defense. Steffi, you're a Commanders fan, so I get that. Your bench, again, same with Tabak. Your bench is just lacking. You got a good quarterback in Dak Prescott. Travis Etienne, we don't even know where he's at, if he's going to be the number 1 in Jacksonville. It's a tough backfield to crack between him and Tank Bigsby. So we'll see. That could turn into good. That could not. We'll see. Keenan Allen, wrong side of 30. I had him last year with disappointed, but maybe in LA again. We'll see how that works out. Darren Mooney, we'll see. And Tucker Kraft, and then you got Tajay Spears and Jalen McMillan on your IR. Again, for me, the only reason that you are where you are in the power ranking, the same with you and Tabak, is a lack of a bench. Because when you get up to these higher ranked teams, it's just their bench depth is a lot better than what you guys have. In the 7th place, we got Riley with Pacheco's Puppy Palace. Again, I have a feeling that name will change in the next few weeks. But as of right now, that is his name. He's got a good quarterback in Jared Goff. He's got a good running back one in James Conner. He's got a 2-headed monster with A.J. Brown and Justin Jefferson. Jalen Waddle has receiver 1 upside, but we'll see how that works out in Miami. We'll see if Mike McDaniel even makes it through the whole year. That and Jalen, or Tua turn the ball over. Trey McBride, again, great quarterback. Matt Gay, Philadelphia Eagles defense. You got a good backup in C.J. Stroud, but again, the reason that I got to bring Riley higher than that of Steffi and that of, sorry guys, 1 second. That of Steffi and that of, what the fuck? Damn, so we're just playing games now. Okay, well, the reason that I am bringing up Riley above that of Steffi and Tabak is the 2-headed monster with A.J. Brown and Justin Jefferson. That is just a phenomenal 2-headed monster. That can win you weeks single-handedly. So again, that is the reason for having Riley's team so high up compared to that of Steffi and Tabak. Moving on to that, Moving on to that 6th spot. Got to give it. Listen, coming out of the draft, I did not like my team. Now kind of looking at it in a perspective of all the teams as a whole, I'm feeling a lot better of it. 6th pick. The reason for that is just, listen, Drake May is very much boomer bust. I could be quarterback fishing in like 2 weeks if Drake May doesn't work out. Same with DeAndre Swift. I think he is a running back 2 with running back 1 upside. Jonathan Taylor is a must start every week, so I'm not going to complain about that. Jamar Chase, listen, I got Jamar in the 3rd overall pick. I'm not going to let him go past me. It's just like I was talking about before, Ladd McConkey and Xavier Worthy. I don't know, they're boomer, but like it's PPR, so McConkey could be very good. But again, It's a second year. We'll see how it works out. Xavier Worthy is going to be boom or bust every week, in my opinion. Colston, Loveland. If that said Dalton Kincaid, I'd be a happy camper. Should have gone David Njoku looking back at it. We'll see how it works out. I have a feeling I'm going to be tight end hunting for the next coming weeks. McLovin, listen, I'm not going to complain. He was good for me last year. Bills defense, I'm not taking any other defense. Traded with Divine with Vikings. Aaron Jones, I talked about it before. We'll see how that works out. He could get dethroned as a running back once, so we'll see how that goes. Rome Odunze could be good. Jerry Jeudy could be good. And then these bottom three right here, Tank Bigsby, Judkins, and Bob. Big Boom, they could not even be on my team in a few weeks. We'll see. Judkins hasn't even signed a contract yet with the Cleveland Browns. I thought I was getting messed with when I was told that, but it is true. So we'll see how that goes. Rumor has it he might sign a contract in the coming weeks, and he could get some snaps, but we'll see how it goes. Right now, I like what I have. My starting lineup could win me weeks, and I just think it's a middle-of-the-pack team with big boom opportunity. But again, if Drake May fizzles out, I don't have a quarterback. As of right now, in my opinion, I don't have a tight end. Sorry, so had some technical difficulties on that one. The program was glitching out, but going back to what I was saying, we'll see how it works out for myself. Bigsby could not be on this team in a few weeks. Bob's boom or bust. He's kind of a hold for me. Same with Judkins. Like I said, I thought I was getting my leg pulled. Obviously was not. So we'll see how that works out for me. But now let's move into that top five. I keep pressing the wrong button. But at the fifth spot, we got X or Hook'em. He has the fifth best team in my opinion. Looking at his team, he got his guy in Malik Neighbors with that 8th pick. He's got a very good starting lineup. The issue for me of why he doesn't get into that top 3 is Hampton is going to be the number 1 running back in that Chargers offense come the end of the season. But right now, he is fighting with snaps with, why am I blanking on his name? The former running back on Pittsburgh, Najee Harris. And I just think time will tell until he becomes the number 1 running back. But right now, he's got a good lineup. He's got Kyler, who is going to be a top 5 quarterback in fantasy this year. Bucky Irvin, another good guy. Tyreek Hill, if he can find his old self. And that Dolphins offense really clicks. It could be very, very good. Malik Neighbors is going to be good, even with what I think carousel quarterback from starting with Russell Wilson with Jackson Dart is going to start a few games this season, but I think Malik Neighbors is a set-and-forgetter for the rest of the season. Pacheco could be really good. Dalton Kincaid, if he's as good as I think he's going to be, he is going to be a top 5 tight end in fantasy this year. Cam Little, the guy who kicked a, 65, 70-yard field goal. Cardinals defense, you're playing the Saints week 1. I think he's going to steam his defenses each week, and starting off with the Saints in week 1 is going to be good. Nick Chubb's going to be the number 1 running back until Joe Mixon comes back from injury. J.K. Dobbins, again, running back by committee in Denver. He could be the number 1. I don't think he's going to end off the season as the number 1, but right now I think he's probably the number 1. Ollie Gordon, again, if A-Chain goes down, he's going to be the number 1. Javonte Williams, again, who knows what's going on in Dallas. We'll see tonight who's going to get the most shares of carries in Dallas. But right now, he might be slated as the number 1. And then 2 upside picks in George Pickens and Ricky Purcell. Purcell could be the number 1 in San Fran. And if Dak is throwing the ball like he usually does, George Pickens could be a good or top-end receiver too, kind of like that of T. Higgins. So again, a solid team. The reason I don't get them higher than top 5 is just right now in preseason, Hampton is not the number 1 running back in LA. So once that happens, this team could be very, very good. Now, going back to it, in the 4th slot, you got Nightcrawler. Listen, Mr. GM, Greek Attack, you got a solid team. For the guy that came with his draft book and draft guide, he came out with a pretty solid team. Has the second best quarterback in the league. Derrick Henry, Kenneth Walker, two very solid running backs. T. Higgins, who is a receiver 2 with receiver 1 upside week in and week out. Drake London with Michael Penix. Cortland Sutton with Bo Nix, both receivers who had second-year quarterbacks who could be very good this year, and both these guys could be receiver 1s by the end of the season. Mark Andrews picked it up near the end of the season there. You got a good backup in Brock Purdy. Scatterboot, Stevenson, don't really see what's going on there. Then you got Stephon Diggs. Again, you are banking on these second-year quarterbacks to hit. And if it does, you arguably have 3 number 1 receivers. So for that reason, I got to give you, your bench is kind of lacking there. But with your opportunity for 4 number 1 receivers, I got to give it hats off to you. That could be a very good team. Now we're moving on to the top 3. In the 3 spot, we got Divine, the Gel King. He has a very solid team for ending up with the second overall pick and not taking Jamar Chase. You have a very solid team. You got the second, I called Mahomes, but really you got the second best quarterback in the league in Lamar Jackson. You got 2 very good running backs in Josh Jacobs and Bijan Robinson. You got Devontae Smith and Jamison Williams, 2 guys who, again, are receiver 2s. And Jamison Williams, there's been talk about this offseason of him taking a next step. So that could be a very good pickup. Chuba Hubbard, again, a number 1 running back in what could be a solid offensive season in Carolina. Travis Kelce, he was falling late, so getting him where you did was a great pickup. And you got a pretty solid bench. J.J. McCarthy could be a top 10 fantasy quarterback this year. We'll see how that works out. Braylon Allen, if Breece Hall goes down, he is going to be the number 1, no questions asked. Matthew Golden, someone who I talked about earlier, who I was very high on, he could be the number 1 in Green Bay. Jawan Jennings could also be the number 1 in San Fran with Brandon Ayuk out. Tyler Warren and the Seahawks defense. That's a solid starting lineup with a very deep bench, and that is why I got to give you that 3rd spot. Moving on to the 2nd spot, that is going to go to the former champion of this league, Meat Spinners. He gets that number 2 spot. This guy's got a solid ass team. Max, you got Jaden Daniels, who's going to be great. CMC, Chase Brown, 2 very good running backs. You got 2 number 1s. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a number 1. McMillan is going to be the alpha in Carolina. Zay Flowers, again, for what he is, he's still a very solid receiver. Evan Ingram could be a really good tight end. You went triple-headed monster with your tight end, kicker, and defense in Denver, going with Lutz the Putz, the Broncos defense, and Evan Ingram. Rico Duato, Rico, we're just calling him Rico, is going to be, I don't think he's going to be on your team in a few weeks, but we'll see how that goes. Najee Harris, again, right now is quote-unquote the running back number 1, but like I talked with X's team, he will probably end up being the number 2 by the end of the season. So, again, he'll be a good bye-week filler. Jordan Mason, listen, I got Aaron Jones, and I think Jordan Mason might be the starter by the end of the season in that Vikings offense. So I think, Max, you got a solid pick there. This Jake, whatever the hell, that is just for the love of the game. I think you just got to keep him on. I don't even know who that is. Same with Trey Harris, but again. And then you got my boy Khalil Shakir, who is still going to get you 10 points week in and week out, just with the amount of targets he gets in that Bills offense. Now, by process of elimination, this guy probably already knows who is number 1, but number 1's got to go to former co-champ of this league, Aftermath Records. Listen, you walked away with a solid fucking team, dude. You got Big Baker as your quarterback number 1. You got Saquon, you got Jimbo, you got DK Metcalf, you got Garrett Wilson, you got Cooper Kupp, you got Kyle Pitts. Your bench is no slouch either. You got Tony Pollard, you got Jordan Love, you got Tyrone Tracy, you got Keon Coleman, you got Jake Ferguson, you have Luther Burton. You have a backup for every position, and you got a backup for the backup. You got great bench depth. You got a great a great starting lineup. Again, your flex position, you can rotate through Cooper Kupp, Tony Pollard, Tyrone Tracy, Keon Coleman. You ride the hot hand. You have a ton of options in this team, And I think you drafted a solid-ass team for where you picked in that 5th pick. And that's why I always say the 5th and 6th pick are the best picks in the draft in a snake format, because then you end up with teams like this. And that is my power rankings. To recap, Aftermath Records, Abdul, get the 1st. Meat Spinners, number 2. Gel King, number 3. Nightcrawler, 4. Hook'em, 5. Fantasy Bean, 6. Pacheco Puppy Palace at 7. Jaw Rockers at 8. The Reincarnation at 9. Receiver Grim Reaper at 10. Auntie Killer at 11. And Chimbus FC at 12. Again, it is preseason rankings. The first game of the season, kickoffs in a few hours. These teams are going to be very different at the start of next week, but right now, that is where I got it at. We'll check back in next week after the first game of this, or the first week of the season. And again, I'm bringing it back. I wanted to talk about. I needed something to talk about. I thought, why not kick it off with fantasy football? Listen, I'm gonna make episodes when I feel like it. I'm gonna talk about what I feel like. I'm gonna discuss and talk about I'm gonna talk about what I feel like. I'm gonna interview people that I find interesting. I just wanted something to put out on the internet. I wanted to document this Bills season. I wanted to document this fantasy season. I just wanted to get stuff out there because you know what? I got free time. Why not put out a podcast? Everyone else can. Why can't I do it? So put out the word. FTN Network is back. There are your Lakeshore FC fantasy power rankings for the start of the season. Let's get them back on the screen one more time. Put the word out. FTN Network is back. If you want to come, hit me up in the DMs. I will have on whoever wants to talk about whatever, because FTN is back. We ain't going nowhere. We are back, baby. As always, guys, subscribe, like the video, and we will talk to you on the flip side.